Today's video is going to be a step-by-step instructional guide to the new Rebel T8i. Now, this guide is just for people who are very new to the Canon, who've never had a Rebel or never had a DSLR for that matter. If you've already owned Rebels before, this video is not for you. However, I will be doing a more advanced video tomorrow, so stay tuned. But if you're new to the Rebel and you want to learn just how to get it done quick, just how to fire it up and start taking pictures, start making movies, then this is the video for you. When you first get your Canon, you just have to find your battery pack. And there's a plug on the back, you just plug it in. And then you want to line up your Canon battery so that you can see the word Canon. And you will notice that right here, the two arrows line up. And the yellow light means it's charging. And once it goes down here, it'll turn green and you're ready to go. To find the battery compartment on your camera, you have to turn your camera upside down, and you'll see there's a little tab right here. Just pull down on that tab with your fingernail and pull the door down towards you. Now when you go to load your battery, make sure you locate the word Canon and the arrow. The arrow always goes down inside. The word Canon always faces away from this thread, and the back side of the battery here faces towards this thread. And then you just shut it. Now when you first get your Canon, this lens is not going to be attached, and there's going to be a protective cover right here protecting your sensor and your mirror. So what you want to do is unscrew this and unscrew this. On the other side of your lens you have your standard lens cap. Now you're not going to have this device. This is something I bought separate so that I don't lose my lens cap. But if you're interested, it sticks to it. So basically if you pick up your lens cap, it holds it, and then there's a strap so you don't lose it. What I mean is you would just hook this strap up somewhere to your camera, and then that way you never lose the lens cap. This next step is critical. This protective cover keeps dust away from your mirror and sensor. If dust gets in there or you somehow get sand in there, it could ruin the camera. I actually had it happen to me. So what you want to do is you want to never ever remove this until you're in a room that's clean with no wind. Next, you're just going to unscrew this. You're going to unscrew this. You're going to locate a square. There's a small square right here, and there's another one right here. You just want to line up the two squares. So you'll feel it kind of click, and then you're going to give it a quarter turn to the right until you hear it click. Now if you're just getting started, you want to put everything in an automatic type of mode so everything's easier. So turn the camera sideways like I have it. And I'm going to zoom in here. I want you to pay close attention to this area right here. And what I'm going to do is zoom in. So these are two settings that you want to make sure you have correctly. Now if you look up here where it says AF, that means autofocus. The one on the right means manual focus. So if you're just getting started, it's best to have it on autofocus. Now to adjust it, it just goes back and forth. In addition to autofocus, pay attention to the stabilizer button. Make sure it's on. It'll just keep the camera from shaking. Now you can also slide it to the right if you want to use a tripod and turn the stabilization off. Next, you want to take the lens cap off. To do that, you're going to squeeze these two tabs towards the Canon logo and pull it off. The next thing you want to do if you're just getting started is to pay attention to this wheel on the top. There's a little green icon right there, and if you look carefully there's a white line to the right of it. Let me zoom in, I'll show you. Alright, so I'm just going to rotate this so you can see it. So when the little green symbol here lines up with the white line, you're in auto mode and you're ready to go. Just so you know though, you can turn this to different settings. One of the ones I use a lot is the M for manual mode. But for now, just getting started, let's just stay to the green. And you're all set. Next, you want to turn the camera like I have it. And now I'm going to zoom in so you can see where the SD card reader will be. So the door to your SD card reader is right here. Now, to open it, I push inward and I slide back. So kind of push in, slide back, and then pull it forward. So if you don't have one of these cards, you're going to have to buy one. Right here I have the minimum that I would recommend, a 32 gigabyte, 90 megabytes per second card. Now, everything gets better as you spend more, so you can get 64 gigabyte, speeds faster than 90, but you have to pay for it. I typically use a 128 gigabyte card, and I try to go with a speed faster than 90. You can go really high. I've actually seen a terabyte one with insanely high speeds, but it just costs a lot of money. And the speed, basically, when you load this in your computer, it'll load faster on the computer with more speed. That's the megabyte per second. And just to give you a rough idea of what this card can do, I make YouTube videos, and my average video is 10 minutes. And I'm able to use 32 gigabytes, and I don't run out. There's only been a few times where I've gone over, and that's when I'm shooting a pretty long video, like longer than 10 minutes. So it's not critical to have a bigger card, but if you're someone that's going to be out in the field and you're going to be filming for hours, then you're going to want to get the bigger card. And in terms of the speed, I haven't had any trouble with the 90s, but if you're uploading a really big 2-hour long movie, then you're going to want the fastest speed you can get. So whenever you load the card, you want to have it facing exactly as I have it now, and then you just load it in. Just in case you haven't seen one of these, the back looks like that. Now if you ever forget, there's actually a picture of the card right here, and on the camera, on the chrome part, it shows you how it goes in. But what I try to remember is I have the label facing the back of the camera, and then I make sure I load it so that the word Ultra goes in first and the red SanDisk part is back towards me. In addition, there's a little slant. See that slant right here? That always goes in towards the camera. Okay, so when I load this in, you're going to hear a click, and that's how you know it's in properly. Now to shut the door, you just shut it, and then I'm going to push this direction like that, and you're going to see a light flash. And that light flashing means it's in correctly, and you're all set. Alright, so we finally made it to the point where we can turn the camera on. Here is the on button. You just move it up here like that. Okay, so now we just open up the door, and we're going to have to set up today's date and the time and the year. So that's how the display looks. And so as you can see there, we just have to put in the correct date, correct time, and the correct time zone. Okay, so to do this, we're going to be working right here. So I'm going to just zoom in here real quick so you know what buttons I'm hitting. Okay, so the set button right here in the middle, that's pretty much like hitting enter. Now in terms of the WB and the other symbols, you're just going to have to ignore what they say right now and think of this as an up, down, left, right type of dial. So the up arrow you'll press up here. For a down arrow we'll press down here, and then left over here, and right will be over here. Okay, so first you have to highlight what you want. So the red box, see it moving? That's where you're at. You have to first hit set to lock it in, and now you'll see an arrow popped up, and then now you can adjust your month by going up and down just like that. So for me it's February. I'm going to hit set to lock it in. I'm going to go to the right, so this is the actual day. So in my case it's February 24th. I'm going to hit set, up arrow until I get to 24. Set, right arrow to go over to 2020. And for me, right now it's 2021, so I'm going to hit set to lock it in, up arrow, 2021. Set to lock it in. And now the time for me is 6:17. So I'm going to hit set to lock it in. 6, set, and up and down. I'll lock that in. I'm going to come over to the minutes, set to lock it in. And now it's currently 6:18 for me, so I'm going to go up to just hitting up. Okay, 6:18, set, I don't know the seconds, so I'm going to go down to month, day, year. that's the way I actually want it. So I wouldn't want to change that, you know what I mean? Like, you can, but I like doing the month, day, year. That's just the way I do it. You might do it different. So now I'm going to hit set to lock that in. I'm going to go down. Okay, this symbol is daylight savings time. So it's currently off. I'm going to change that. So I'm going to hit set. I'm going to hit up. Now daylight savings time is on. So I'm going to hit set again. Go to the right. I do not live in London. Okay, so now I'm in the time zone. And what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to select London, even though that's not where I'm from. I'm going to hit set right in the middle. And now it's giving me other places. So I need to find New York. That's mine. There's New York. I'm going to hit set. And now I'm going to go down. So time difference, just leave that alone. Don't touch it, because if you change it, it's going to mess up your time. I'm going to go down to OK and hit set. Okay, so once you get here, it asks you to confirm. And I forgot to mention, you can touch the screen also instead of using the dial. So I'm going to hit OK and lock in this time. So that's locked in. That's the right time. Turn the camera off. But watch what happens when I go to turn this off. It's going to clean the sensor automatically, which is pretty cool. So look right here and watch this. Right there, sensor cleaning. It automatically cleans the sensor for you, which is great. I've been running my other Canon for about 3 years. I've never had to do anything. It's so great, it just cleans itself. By the way, never clean your own sensor. Never touch your sensor with anything ever for any reason. Okay, so it says apply effects after shooting. This is a touch screen, so you can touch it. And it's asking me if I want to apply effects after shooting. I don't like to do that because you can always do it later in your editor. But just to show you, you can always hit set over here and you can change some of these settings. I personally love the way a Rebel comes stock. But for example, if you want to review like how long you see a picture after you take it, you could change it here and change that. You can release shutter without a card. I actually like that, so I'm leaving it. You can turn that off if you want. Flash control, you can, automatically flash fire, which that's what I like. Red eye reduction. Actually, I think I do want that, so I'll turn that on. Alright, so then I'm just going to go back to the menu. Okay, so real quick before we start shooting, I'm going to go to the menu. I want to show you something important. You see that wrench? You have to highlight the wrench right there. If you hit OK, set, see where it says auto power off? You want to adjust that to your liking, because let me tell you what, the screen turns off so fast. I mean, it's set for 10 seconds, but I changed mine to 4. That way the display doesn't go dim on me right when I'm trying to work. Okay, so let's just hit menu. Okay, so at this point, you're set for basic shooting. So I'm just going to show you how to do that. Okay, so when you go to take your first shot, to take the shot, you're going to press this button right here. Now, if you hold it about halfway down, gently, the autofocus will happen on its own. So you just kind of hold this right here, just gently, and you'll hear a beep, and that means your autofocus is locked in. Also, don't forget to turn it to the on position right there. So at this point, you would just look through the viewfinder and press the trigger. Now, like I said, you hold it gently halfway. That beep tells you it's ready, and you press the trigger, and it just took a picture. That's one way to do it, but I'm going to show you a way that's a little bit better. So another way to do it is to open your viewfinder, and now as you can see, the display has all the technical settings, but I prefer to actually get a live view of what you're shooting. So there's a button right here that we're going to push, and it's going to change the view right there. I'm going to press this button right here, and when I press it, let me show you what happens. Now let me zoom back out because I got to show you the full scene. Okay, so I'm going to press the button and you're going to see my model for the first time. So here we go. Okay, so immediately this message comes up. It says to apply effects, press the Creative Assist button. So this is your Creative Assist button. So if you want to mess with that, you'll press that. But for now, we're not going to do that. We're just going to ignore that for now. and I just want to show you the flamingo. And what you can do is you can actually touch where you want to focus, like tip of his nose or his feet or right center mass. With this viewfinder you can really see what's going on. So I think I'm going to focus on his eyes, and that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to take a shot, and then I'm going to actually show you how it turned out. So here we go. You're seeing it through my camera, so let me show you the actual photograph. Okay, so just one last thing I'm going to tell you, and this will complete our quick start guide. You can actually take this, if you turn it off and then put it where the video camera is, you can now take your first movie. So I'm going to turn it on to the movie setting. And my dog is sleeping right now, so we're going to film her sleeping and you'll see how to do a movie. Okay, as you can see there, my dog's asleep, but if I want to film her sleeping, I just press this button right here, and as long as you have it on the movie camera, you can press this button, and now it says recording really small right here. And I want to show you one more thing. I didn't tell you how to zoom in and out, so I'm going to show you that part. Okay, so it's still recording, but what you do is you grab the barrel, I call this the barrel, and you twist it, and that's how you zoom in and out. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm just going to twist it, and you can see it just zooms in and out on her. You can actually zoom like that as well, just pressing. This will zoom in, this will zoom out. Now the only way that works though is if you have the autofocus off on the lens. I almost forgot to tell you something very important. After you take your picture, you can hit the play button right here, and that will show you the picture you just took or the video you just made. And you can also hit the trash can to delete the photo you just made. And so I just wanted to thank you very much for watching this video. I also want to let you know we're right now filming on the new camera. So as I sign off, I'm going to see if I can get Coco to look at us here, so you can get a nice view of her. Hey Coco, do you want a treat? You have the sleepy hair. Me and the flamingo would like to say thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, just let us know in the comment section below.